back.
It's
We're
been
back.
a couple of weeks.
It has been a couple of weeks. You've been overseas.
I'm going to move this noisy chair now. Back in action. Here we are down at the light box in Happy Rock.
I've been
living the dream.
sick since I got home.
Have you?
Yeah, I had a couple of weeks off. When I got home after my surgery, then I caught this dreaded flu that everyone's getting.
Shit,
so
you're going to pull through.
got a chest infection and
Bronchitis?
No, not bronchitis. I've just been to the doctor and got antibiotics. So everyone seems to be coming down with it, and it's hanging on. My poor neighbour's got it. I keep hearing him cough through the wall of a unit. It's like, Hey, John. John and I have a funny story, which I'll share later.
What is it?
Well, he asked me to come to Insight Circle last week. So he messaged me and he goes, it's on next Monday and it's at Shed 19 and in Dalrymple Drive.
Yeah, so you went.
So I rock up, all the cars are out the front. There's everyone, men and women, standing inside. He said it was the mixed group, all standing in a big circle. So I'm thinking, okay, this is it. Walked in and there's this chick leading the group and she's doing all these breathing exercises. And I'm like, this must be like, so people calm yourself before the counselling starts. So I just got in the circle and I put my hands on my ribs. I start joining in and then she starts doing these and I'm thinking, God, this is weird. I'm looking for John and I'm thinking he's not here.
You're in the wrong group.
It was the choir practicing for you instead for next week. I was so mortified. I said to the lady next to me, I think I'm in the wrong place. And she goes, they usually meet next door. So I went out to the car and messaged John. I said, you're not going to believe what I just did. I felt all their eyes in the back of my head as I'm walking out the door. It was hilarious. I was so mortified.
The bike's just here, Matt.
Tony.
I brought it up to light.
Yeah, he's got his bike here.
This is a big shout out to M1 Cycles, man. This bloke, seriously, best bike mechanic in the Southern Hemisphere.
Oh, that's a big play.
Amazing. Seriously, Matty, you do so well. Thanks heaps, man, for all that work today. Another triathlete, Cheryl Altuvis, and Tony Rose, Valley's footballer.
The lovely Crystal Roots has joined.
She had a tough day today, Crystal Roots. That's
God, she's beautiful.
Isn't she lovely?
She posts the most gorgeous stuff on Facebook.
Some sad stuff today. Stay strong, Crystal Roots.
Lots of love to you, Crystal.
I didn't even realise that.
About
Crystal. Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
So a
couple of things coming up.
What is going on in Gladstone? Are you going to Johnny D's tomorrow night?
I don't know.
What? Where are you going? And Zach reckons we're playing up.
I've heard a lot of people are going.
It's going to be a big
Are you going to go?
Yes,
You're drinking?
Yes.
I love it when you drink. You can let loose.
Yeah, because I'll be coming.
And Zachy's going to be with you. Lots of love, Crystal.
Which is
just
silly.
Yeah, Johnny Diesel.
Because Zach plays up like a second-hand lawn.
Congratulations to Relay for Life. Great result there. Really great result. I think Botanics Bridge is coming up soon.
Tony Rose has been... When I was a kid... Tony Rose. I used to have long hair.
Yeah.
Have you heard that song? Little Miss can't be wrong.
Yeah.
You know, those, like the Spin Doctor.
The Spin Doctors. Yeah. You didn't sing that
because he had a mullet.
Oh God! Did you actually have a mullet?
I had a mullet, and it was a good mullet.
Send a photo through, Tony. We'd love to see that.
That's right.
Madeline,
what a beautiful girl, Kendall. Jenny Haywood, all the way from wherever you are, Jenny.
Thanks for joining us Friday afternoon.
I'm a triathlete, a support, and a good try wife, Cheryl.
Oh, that's good.
See, I class
actually
wives as triathletes.
Yeah, well, and husbands.
Oh, well, both. Her hubby's it was an Iron Man triathlon. And Cheryl's done great. You've lost about 1,000 kilos too. She has, so she's done.
Wow, she must be like a shadow.
Oh, she is.
Well done, Cheryl. I know what that's like. It's hard work. So,
what's going on, Johnny Diesel?
I think there's I don't know if there's much on this weekend. If there is, give it a plug. But I think there's like a Credence Clearwater revival next Friday night. Next Friday night.
Jules will be into that.
There's a Credence. That's a Harvey Road Tavern as well.
Right.
I know that.
Hello, Izzy.
I know that something else is coming up next week. What was that we were talking about? There's a few big things coming up in Gladstone. I don't know if there's much on this weekend. We've had some huge weekends in Gladstone. I just want to give a quick plug. Mission to Seafarers. We've talked about them before.
Jeez, they're doing good.
I met with the beautiful. Well,
Butchie.
They're still really struggling. They had to shut down just for a month for everyone to have a break.
But it's all sorted though, isn't it?
No. It's still there's still a lot. There's still a lot to do to protect them. So they're hosting a cruise, a dinner cruise. It's proudly sponsored by the Lightbox. Now the menu has been released, and Jess and I had a little catch up today.
Is it good? Hey Paul.
Amazing. So I'm just going to give this a quick plug.
How are you, bro?
So they're actually selling tickets to the dinner cruise.
Safety first. Take 5. Safety first. Safety first. No. I was just wondering.
Hello.
How he's going.
This is on our live video.
Oh,
Say hi.
oh, hello, live video.
Have a great afternoon.
So so to help raise some funds for the Mission to Seafarers, they're holding an SOS cruise.
Kelly Johnson.
It's kindly sponsored by Curtis Ferry Services and also the Lightbox. So the guys here have been brilliant.
Wow.
And it's a sunset dinner cruise. It's being held on Saturday, the 7th of September at 6:30. Tickets are $160 per person, or you can get a table of 10 for $1,500. It's a 3-course meal, a 3-hour sunset cruise.
Sure.
And it includes beer, wine, soft drinks, and lucky door prizes and an auction. And Benito sent through the menu today, and it looks flippin' amazing. It's the 7th of September.
Right.
So the menu looks awesome, and the boys here at the Lightbox are doing the food. So I'll just put that up.
What day is the 7th of September? Is that or something?
Saturday.
Have to be a weekend.
It's a Saturday. So there you go, guys. There is and there is an events page set up on Facebook for that.
Right.
So, there's a few really good things coming up, but I just wanted to give that a plug. Mission to Seafarers, people don't realise how much they actually do. There's 60,000 sailors on the ships come in to our port every year. They spend money in this town. They support the town. It's huge, a huge thing for them. Our port is it's the guts of our whole town, the port.
That's why we're here.
That's what Mission to Seafarers do. They look after the safety and well-being of all the people that come in on the ships. If you've never been out to Mission to Seafarers, their hall out there is available for communities. They have people who go out there and do their tap dancing classes and all sorts of things. They have pool tables. It's open to the public. They've got a great souvenir shop. No, you can just go and use it. There's a boardroom. If you need meetings, there's a huge boardroom that's available for people to use. There's a chapel out there, a non-denominational chapel. It's an amazing area. They've also got an area where you can donate clothes, because a lot of the guys that come over on these ships come from countries where they don't have a lot, so they literally turn up with like 2 shirts and 2 pairs of pants. They might come from a country that's really, really cold, and they've only got really big, cold, warm clothes. So you can actually donate clothes down there as well for them. And they also take children's books and stationery and ladies' clothes, because these guys like to take a gift back for their families, because a lot of them come from third world countries. So you can make donations down there as well. Wow. Jess, who runs Mission to Seafarers, does an amazing job. She's really got a lot on her plate, and
she's trying hard.
She's also she took over from Risha, looking after women, connecting women. She also runs Fairy Godmother formals. So if anyone needs a formal dress for something and they don't have lots of money and need help, you can go and pick a dress out, so you've got something for the prom. Jess is really, and she's also been a foster carer for years, so she does lots for our community. So hats off to Jess from Mission to Seafarers.
And she doesn't publicise that a lot. She's not out there.
She's not a trumpet blower.
She's not.
She just does it with
she's just a quiet
goodness
achiever.
of her heart, and she's very, very intelligent, smart lady. Let me tell you.
Absolutely.
Hey, Shelley, John, and Brady.
We have a few people on today. Everyone from Nudgee College to the local basketball coach. Go, Brady.
So, Mr. Guinea,
you
just got back from the Philippines.
I got back from the sun.
And you got
Literally.
sick. You got Bali belly.
Oh, I got Philippine belly. I didn't eat anything. Seriously, nothing passed my lips other than like a hydrate ice block, of which I consumed about 30.
How long were you sick for when you got back?
48 hours.
Ooh, so you ate something.
Excuse the language, shitting through the eye of a needle. I could not keep my.
So don't eat the food in the Philippines, or be careful what you eat.
I don't know.
Lucky you didn't get sick before the triathlon.
Oh, I did the day before.
Oh, really?
I reckon it was the pork bun. So we try to be pretty careful. 7-Eleven, you think it'd be all right. In a pie warmer.
I wouldn't eat from 7-Eleven in Brisbane. No, sorry, that's not true, but I'd be careful what I chose.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes the temperature's not high enough in the hot box.
I think that's probably what it was. And as soon as I ate it, I started pooing.
No, you do have to be careful when you eat in some countries.
Oh, I know.
Or the water, and the water.
Oh, I know.
And the water.
Oh, I know. I don't know what I eat, because like I Googled it, and it's two to shitting through the eye of a needle, literally. I could not keep it in my body.
He was sick. I messaged, I said, are we catching up for a live this week? And he said, as long as I can stop pooping by then.
Oh, mate, I was pooing everywhere. I'm serious. I had accidents. I'm happy to tell people out there that even 46.
My God, warning, be careful what you eat when you go overseas.
Especially when you go to the sun.
Oh, my God.
Hot over there.
So, Anton, I have to say I'm extremely impressed and fascinated by your dedication to triathlons. And like many things that people do that the everyday Joe doesn't do, I am fascinated. The thing I find the most fascinating, I find a real connection between the way you prepare and perform and recover.
Yeah.
There's a direct correlation between the way you run your business and your life with the way you run you do the tri thing. And I thought, we really definitely.
Oh,
it's
hello,
it's,
Leanne, another strong lady in the community.
Oh, Leanne, Patrick.
And Owen.
Leanne's not been well.
Owen's just, I know.
Lots of love to you, Leanne. I hope you're feeling better.
And Owen's just run like a 1,000K race or something.
Wow.
He's
well, they can probably relate
Australia.
to this, and I think
Owen will relate.
for someone who's never done the R word, I had club feet, so I don't run.
Yeah.
I walk fast, but I don't run.
You can too.
But I thought it would be good to sort of look at your opinion of how you can relate.
Like
yeah, so I just wanted to ask you a few questions, if you don't
I would
mind.
love you to ask me a few questions.
I actually wrote some questions.
Holy shit.
We're getting
This
serious.
sounds like yarn on a vent.
We are serious, and you have not seen these questions.
I haven't.
So.
I'm totally unprepared, as always.
So I want to know how do you prepare and plan for the best result? And all this is, we can relate all of this to life and business. So how do you mentally and physically prepare for a triathlon, and then relate that to other things that you have to deal with in life?
Such a good question.
Mentally and physically.
And so the first thing is that in general terms, the way you do one thing is the way you do all things. So, like as a leadership coach, we do team building. So you can tell, and you and I did that thing. Remember we were down there?
Yes.
You can tell how people are going to be in the workplace by watching how they play.
Yeah.
How people play is how they work. So if you want to find an unsafe dude, take them to the beach and ask them to climb a tree or do something. So, and if they do it,
So you'd have to question their safety at work.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's just the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And so for me personally, like a bloke, so I've just hired a new tri coach, and he asked me last night what type of person I am, and that's pretty straightforward. I'm type A. And so that's like full ball.
Yep.
Full miles.
100%.
100
miles an hour.
And don't stop.
Passion.
Everything, break the wall, all the goals, change the world, and grow the business and do the triathlon and all that stuff. And I think so. What works for me in my triathlon life works in my business life. And the thing about preparation and planning is the biggest thing I'd say to people is, and this is from a great triathlete called Chris McCormack. Macca is like, so I just really do have a man crush on Macca. So I would really go for long.
Honest you are.
I'd go for long walks in the bush with that bloke, seriously.
He might not want to go with
hand, and he might not either. But he was the Anthony Mundine of triathlon.
Okay.
So let's just put it like that, right? So he pissed everyone off. He had a big mouth and said what he felt and no filter.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yep.
So to me, you get out.
You relate to that?
Oh, me, I just do so much. And like I love Anthony Mundine. Because I think, don't agree, I just love that he's his own man.
Because you said the same thing about when Israel Folau
Absolutely.
spoke out.
Go
chance.
I didn't agree, and I think he should have got sacked. Go hard though.
But it was about speaking his mind and his truth.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you got to say what's. You've also got to understand the consequences. So Mundine, no one likes him. Is he got sacked? Macca got a bad name for himself, which I think he's probably undone now because he's a nice guy. He wrote a book, and the book is "I'm Here to Win."
Did he upset a few people?
Shit, yes. Because
Whoops.
He is. They say to him, and this is where the word came from. Hello, James. James.
Oh, Tony. Hey,
and Tony.
Tony. Oh, Harry's. That's your mate, Harry. Jody.
Harry Charalambus. Yeah, and Jody Brown. And so they said to Macca, so he gets over to Kona. So he just turns up as an athlete, as a short distance athlete, goes to do Ironman, massive step, and Hawaii is cursed.
Yeah.
Hot and blowy. And they said, Macca, are you ready? And he sort of said, well, excuse the language. He said, fuck me. I'm here to win. Like, it's not about being ready. I'm here to win.
Oh,
wow. Like his first race ever,
Yeah.
And bombed out. And had an absolute shocker.
Sorry.
That's okay. I don't even think he...
Oh, go away.
You're online. And I don't think he even... Ros Waterstone. I don't even think he finished his first time at Kona. But his words are... And every time they'd ask him, are you ready? I'm here to win.
So he wasn't there to be liked, obviously.
No.
He didn't care who he rubbed up the wrong way.
Correct.
Or
So I go about things a bit differently because I don't like being disliked. If you read through his book, he gets about chapter 7, and he talks about preparation and planning. And he has these 3 words that have actually become pretty popular. I don't know whether he coined them. You've got to embrace the suck.
Mm-hmm.
So
Fair enough.
embrace the suck. It's going to suck. Kyria King just bought a new case. Things are going to hurt, and you have to be ready for when the hurt comes on. Like, you just got to know that life's not easy. Triathlon's not easy. Business sucks at times. If you think it's going to be easy and you go into like an Ironman triathlon thinking I'm just going to cruise through this, like, it's going to you're going to have a bad day at the office.
So on that, very quickly, do you remember back to your first ever try?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Did you think it was going to be a lot
Yes.
easier than it was?
Absolutely.
So there was hurt, obviously,
Hey,
kicked
Jan
in.
and Peter Palmer.
G'day, Jan. Oh, g'day. Oh, Peter. Peter and Peter.
And
So-
Maddie Merritt all the way from WA.
Oh, wow.
Boilermaker.
Oh, cool. Hi. So your very first triathlon,
Very first.
the pain kicks in and you think, I'm never doing this shit again. And we've talked about the fact that when you crossed the finish line and you had the feeling of accomplishment, that's what made you want to do the next one.
And I just said, I have to.
It's kind of like giving birth to a baby when you go, that's it, I'm not having any
Yes,
more
again.
kids, and then you go back to
And you
more.
forget really
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
Get this. After my first one, so I didn't know I could just drive to your perm because I was so excited, me being so... I had thought I had to go to the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Where's the closest drive? Internet wasn't as great as it is now. Scroll. Gold Coast, 2 weeks. Right, I'm on. So 2 weeks, no prep, couldn't swim. Just thought, I'm going to try this whole tri show because I was 100 kilos.
Wow.
So I said, and I'd done the bodybuilding thing, so I dropped all the weight and got sick of just running. So I thought, there's got to be a good sport out there. So I stopped into Brizzy on the way, bought a whole tri suit, like extra large size to pack my fat ass into.
Turn up looking like a pro.
That's right. You got to look like all the gear and no gear, we call it. So I stayed with my old mate Andrew Hetherington down there. So he just done the Noosa trial, and he was our financial planner at the time. And he said, there's these tries down here in Gold Coast, yeah. And he said, come down, and I'll go down to the Gold Coast with you. I said, yeah, cool. So I went, dropped my car at his place, stayed there overnight. I think we had a few beers the night before, as you do, not prepping. But 2 weeks out, so I'd only decided 2 weeks before, and I spent those 2 weeks in Port Hedland. And I remember walking into the pool at Port Hedland and said, look, I don't know how to do this whole swimming thing. Is there someone here that can teach you how to do the swim show?
So you had not researched it or anything, you just rocked up.
2 weeks. I'm going to go.
Nothing like throwing yourself in, hey?
No, that's right. And I said, I'm going to do this thing in 2 weeks' time. And this big, I'll never forget this bloke in Port Hedland, big beard, big head, big guts, walking along the pool. And he said, jump in. And I said, can you teach me to swim? And he said, well, maybe. And he said, jump in the water. So what I want you to do, swim halfway up the pool and then swim back so I can see your whole stroke thing. And I said to him, literally, I said, what, all at the one time? Like the whole, up like halfway and then back without stopping?
Yeah.
He said, well, yeah.
How long's the swim in a dry? It's
Like 400 metres. Yeah, I couldn't get halfway.
You couldn't get halfway
2 weeks.
and back.
Well, I had 2 weeks. And that's what he said. He said, mate, you got a lot of work to do. I said, do you smoke? No. Are you willing to
I
train
can't believe you just rocked up.
every day for 2 weeks? I said,
Oops. I'm trying to get that to untag. Yeah, so...
I said, I'm doing this in 2 weeks. Can I make 400 metres in 2 weeks? He said, probably not. I said, okay, well, I'll try.
So how'd you go? That was your very first one?
triathlon. So we go down the Gold Coast this morning, me and Andrew, and it was so cool. And it was funny because I never forget these young punks turn up, like the skinny little mofos from the Gold Coast, 18, 19, and here's Andrew and I, like mid-30s, midlife crisis. Where
you would still look fit though after doing your bodybuilding.
Yeah, I probably was in reasonable
after
shape.
seeing those photos.
But bigger. And these young punks turn up, they had a big night on the soup and, pissed and, and they just turn up and just went like the clappers and all, holy shit, do they really go that fast, And so Andrew and I ran around and finished it, did the try, did a bit of breaststroke to get through the swim.
Did he think you were mad when you said, I'm going to do this try in 2 weeks?
I don't think so. It was only a short one. It was only a bubby one. It was only the beginner distance. It was a 400-metre swim, 15K bike ride, and a 4K run. So it was only a little one. It was the Gatorade series.
What happened when the hurt kicked in? Because you've got to have, in that first one, unprepared and
Well, in your first one,
Because you think about the preparation you do now.
see, I never
you
went
prepare
so.
for a really long time. You're continuously preparing for the next one because you've got them on all the time, haven't you?
Julie's boss.
So you compare back when you started, because we're relating this to business and life, obviously. So when you first started and you walked in unprepared, you thought it was going to be a lot easier than it was.
Yeah.
You didn't prepare.
And it was hard.
It hurt like hell.
Absolutely.
But you got to the end and you still thought, I'm going to do another.
Oh, I finished. I could not do my next one quick enough. I literally, Andrew dropped me at his place. I drove home, unpacked my bike, and I rode my bike out to Clinton. And
hello, Nancy. Is she inside?
Is she really? She was texting me when I was in the Philippines. Hello, Will, Jess, Lorraine. Who else we got? David, Brute, and Julie's cousin. I've got to tell you, in your first one, you'd sort of never go to the real. You never get into real hurt locker. Like you just do it to finish. You know, you don't. It's sort of more. You probably stay in your comfort zone, I suppose. It's like when you get into business, you probably, even though you go hard, what do they say that you expect your goals, but you perform to your fears? So you only perform to where you don't want to go past, where it hurts too much, I suppose. And in the first one, you don't go past Simon Owens, just another nudgy boy.
Hey, Simon.
So you sort of don't in your first one push too hard, girl. And I didn't push too hard. Like it hurt, like I was sore from a week. But
so relating that to like a business startup, for example.
Yeah.
You obviously learnt a lot from that you took into the next one.
Absolutely.
So the lessons that you learned, and you would have thought, okay, I need to prepare better next time.
That's right.
And I want to get better and start being able to do the big ones.
That's
and
right.
if I want to do
Straight
that,
away.
so it's a pretty good comparison to starting up a business where you think it's going to be a lot easier.
That's right.
Yeah. And hang on, I'm going to check my questions because I wanted to know how do you make sure the equipment that you need? So I'm talking your bike, your clothing, your body, and your mind.
Oh yeah.
How do you make sure that they're at the peak of because obviously they have specific outfits designed and things like that.
Here's my new tri coach just jumped on.
Oh, Blake
Kaplan,
green.
Hey mate, we're talking about you, bro. He will. This bloke is a crazy nutcase triathlete coach.
Well, he might have some input.
Hey, bro.
He
And Gary
might have
Brewer,
some input.
Yeah,
So how do you make sure
we should bring him on? No, we can't.
Oh, is he not? Oh, no, that's right. So how to make sure your equipment is in top shape for you to have the best chance of a good result?
Can I talk you through each stage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you've just brought your bike in here. So your bike's just been flown back from the Philippines. Right. So obviously you've got certain things. And the bike you would have ridden first wouldn't be the sort of bike you have now. So you've obviously upgraded. And
fourth bike I've actually ridden in a truck.
So how do you have your equipment, your mind, your body, your clothes, everything in top? Like how do you know that it's the best for you to get the best result?
Couple of rules. First one is you never do anything for the first time in a race. So for example, let's say so let's go for the swim for a start. You've got to be so careful. The biggest thing in triathlon with your gear, hey Blake, is chafing. Like you'd be amazed how much chafing can wreck your race. So if you wear a wetsuit, you get chafed on the neck or you get chafed under the arms. So you make sure your kit's good. So you always wear it in for the swim first. Vaseline, man.
Oh, really?
Oh, Vaso everywhere.
Oh, wow. Wow.
All over the bodge. It's Vaso.
Okay.
Vaso up, which is a bit different. Then, so on the bike maintenance, like that gets maintained.
So you said there's a bike, the guy that was on before, he looks after the bike. So obviously having someone that can service your bike and
absolutely
make
need
sure
a good bike mechanic,
good tyres,
especially when you're going overseas.
Oh yeah. How do you get a bike on a plane, by the way?
Oh, I pack it up in a bag.
Oh really?
Yeah, that travels well. That's been to the Philippines.
So it actually folds up and everything.
Yeah,
like comes apart.
Yeah.
There you go.
So bike servicing and then running. Shoes are pretty much just don't. So the biggest mistake people make is run with no socks on.
Okay.
You want to save time.
And you don't want to get out in your old volleys. Like you've got to have like running shoes and support and
do all the work. Do the prep. Go and see a person and get the right shoes, get fitted, run with them for 100k before you do a try so that they're worn in.
Yep.
And wear socks in your first couple. Or do your Sunday morning run without socks to make sure you're not going to blister, because blisters, they're just chafing. Blisters wreck your run real fast. So it's all about prep. Never do anything for the first time. Make sure your gear's worn in. Make sure your gear's serviced. Make sure you vass up, lube up, and go hard.
And what about your body preparation with what you're eating and your drinking? Because we're relating it to obviously equipment you need to run life to be better at life. Well, and it's similar to obviously lead up to my surgery where I took vitamins and I worked out and but you would have to work out the best diet, because I know you were on that
keto.
We don't talk about keto. We don't talk about keto.
But Blake's going to write me and Jules a program, an eating program.
Oh, okay.
So this particular guy.
So do you carb load and stuff?
Yeah.
Just before?
The night before, just rice or something.
And do you drink beer?
No, not usually.
What's his name? Alberto. He has
Alberto,
wine before
his
he's
wine the night before.
Yes.
He's a nutter.
Yes.
No, I don't drink for like 8 weeks before, or 6 weeks, or 4 weeks, depending on the race. So your diet's important. So I was only talking to this guy last night, and Blake said that in an Ironman event, every kilo will cost you something like 14 minutes over the race.
Wow.
What do you think?
So you have to get lean, is that what he said? You've got to get lean.
Lean, not like Ironman. So hence I had a really bad race in Cebu, carrying probably 10 kilos too heavy. You've got to, like I race at 76 kilos and I'm probably 90 now.
Yeah.
So,
and I've got friends who've done tries and they have gotten skeletal before a race. Like
low body fat.
So that's a lot, 14 kilometers.
And I think if you make that, what's the analogy with life is that you strip off all the fat and shit you don't need.
Yeah, and we're talking metaphorically. So
absolutely.
Just the toxic people and the baggage and the...
But even mentally, the emotional stuff you don't need. You know, like just go into a race with a bare minimum. Because I tell you what, life's so much easier when you're running, when you're light. Because one coach described it like this. He said, so in the marathon, imagine this, my feet are going to hit the ground 180 times a minute. So 90 on each foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 180 times a minute.
Wow.
Now, you imagine, let's say if you did the math between 90 kilos, 90 kilos, 90 kilos, or 80 kilos, 80 kilos, 80 kilos, 80
That's
kilos.
A lot of on your ankles and
over
knees.
21 or 42k.
Yeah.
Something like tons of pressure. So carrying tons of weight. So it's an amazing...
And a kilo is a lot. Like when I look at the bulk of what I've lost and even the skin, I had nearly 5. Yeah, really good.
Is it still tight as all?
Really good. Oh, it's crazy. My surgeon, my GP, I went and saw her yesterday. She's never had a patient that's had skin removal, so she was amazed. She said he's like stitching. He actually, like, the sewing up was like nearly 2 meters of stitching he did around my body. So that's pretty significant. But I know myself when I lift a bag of sugar, even like Blake was saying, 1 kilo is 14 kilometers.
14 minutes.
14 minutes. And if you actually pick up a kilo and know that extra weight is pounding when you're doing the run.
Motivation.
Yeah,
he just,
that's a lot.
That kicked my ass last night because I didn't realise just how much it was. And I remember when I heard this one, that kicked my ass for about 5 years, and that was enough. Every time I was going to eat something, I'd go, oh shit, there's another ton of pressure.
Well, it would give you something to relate that weight to. So, so I wanted to know. We've talked about the physical stuff in the bike and everything.
Yeah.
So this is the part that fascinates me because especially in life, you get something bad happens and it starts to hurt and you want to give up. Okay, so what do you do when you feel like giving up, and how do you push through the pain? Like mentally, what do you have to do?
It's probably
in your mind while you're actually on the track running and you go, screw this, I just can't do this anymore. What self-talk or whatever do you do to pull yourself out of that and keep going?
I'll give you a couple of things. The first one is make sure you've prepped for it. So actually I'll go back a step, and I've got my old mate Ash Glass. Do you know Ash Glass?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Isn't he beautiful? He's a beautiful man.
You always tell us.
I love Ash. He's just one of the loveliest blokes on this planet, right? And he has his saying. Have I ever told you his saying? And he's fast.
Possibly.
He's a fast runner, right?
Yeah.
Fast as all get out.
Yep.
Fittest man in Australia without training too much.
Yeah.
And as he runs past me on Sunday mornings, because I can't keep up with him, runs away from me, he says, Guins, it's 90% mental, the other 10%'s in your head.
Oh,
I know,
wow.
I know. Thank you.
Wow.
So isn't that a powerful saying?
Yeah.
90% mental, the other
That
10%'s in
is.
your head.
That is.
And
Hey,
what he-
Belinda.
And he
And Tara.
he just says it's all.
I love that.
It's all, I know,
That's
me too.
really good.
It's all in your head, and so.
So what do you say to yourself? And how, like, you've got to have some pretty wicked pain. If you get chafing or blisters or your knee starts to ache or whatever.
Everything hurts.
So how do you push through
You're
that?
always doing full body scans. Like you have this triathletes have this weird thing. You start at the top, you go to the bottom. What's hurting now? Where do I need to send some love to? Where do I need to focus on? What do I need to adjust? I need to lift this arm up, or this foot's hurting. Shit, I better change my running style, which then I'm going to compensate.
So you need to be conscious of what's hurting, but you can't focus on that. That's 100%. You've
got to actually forget about it.
Yeah,
you've actually got to push it out of your mind. No, but not focus. It's like life.
Yeah.
Like you can be shitty, but you just don't spend too much time there.
So if you keep saying running and saying my knee's hurting, my knee's hurting, my knee's hurting, my knee's hurting, so that's the same, I guess, in life. When something's bringing you down, and John's talked about that. John Sorotti's talked about that, where you have the twins in prison. You told me about the twins, and they both had the same father.
How could you expect?
One ended up in prison and did the same thing his father did, and the other guy became a very successful doctor. And it was the mindset. And what was the question they asked? Why did you end up like you did? Yeah.
I said, well, how could you expect me to end up any other way? Look at my
dad, and they both had the same answer.
And they had
so one of them had chosen to take a different path to the dad, and the other one blamed his upbringing and his dad and followed the same path as his dad.
And it's about what you focus on.
So that's the same, I guess, when you're jogging, you're doing your run, and you go, oh my God, I got a blister, it's getting worse, it's hurting more. And
sometimes you can't, like a blister will get to the point where you can't run through it. They get so deep and bleed and stuff. And that's where prep comes in. So I always carry Fixamol, which is a second skin, so I'm always prepared.
So can you just stop and put a Band-Aid on?
Yeah.
You can?
But they don't stop the watch.
Oh,
so your time keeps
Can you stop? I've got to put a
that's
Band-Aid.
right. I'm just going to stop my watch.
So, really interesting.
Can I just, very quickly, first thing is prep for those situations. So
they're coming,
yeah. And I wasn't prepped enough in Cebu for that mental toughness because it was just too hot. And I just hadn't done the work. It's winter here, and I just wasn't mentally prepped, and so I wasn't ready to keep going. And so you've got to have sayings that you have, and I do. I just talk to myself. I call myself Guins when I'm running. Come on, Guins, you got this, Guins. Come on.
That was going to be my question. Yeah. What do you say to yourself to get out of that and refocus on the positive?
And then sing songs is another good one.
Oh yeah.
Wake Me Up When It's All Over.
I was going to say, what do you sing?
Wake Me Up When It's All Over.
Okay.
By Avicii. Wake Me Up When It's All Over. That's my just favourite try. Once I start riding, for some reason that gets in my head.
Does it have a good beat to run to?
Not really.
I would have thought you'd.
It's just got a good message.
Okay.
Wake me up when it's all over.
Where's that finish line?
When I'm wiser and I'm older. And then the third one is you find something else to think about. So I always think about Jules, and I always think about the kids, and think about this, and think about all sorts of stuff. So you sort of got to be mentally prepared what you're going to think about when the hurt comes on, and that's part of that embracing the stuff.
That's really looking for the grateful, and that was going to be my other question, was what do you focus on to forget about the pain and to push through it? So singing's a good one. I like that. Yeah. So I guess, again, relating that back to life and your business is not concentrating on the bad stuff and the hurt, and it's focusing on where you want to go and where the finish line is and what the positive things are and what you have achieved.
That's right.
You might have come 10 kilometres and you've only got 2 kilometres to go. So you're focusing on how far you've come, and you're not looking in the rear vision mirror.
Well, and the trick is you never think about how far you've got to go. Mindfulness, Crystal, absolutely.
That's exactly what it is, Crystal. Well said. Well said.
Mark Nudgy and Craig Ross.
Hey, guys.
Be present, people.
So I want to know, because this fascinates me because I'm not a runner, what actually drives you to keep doing them? Like, what's your reward? Because obviously you don't win $1 million at the finish line.
Well, you pay $1 million to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a shit sport when it comes to cost.
It's one of those expensive ones.
Don't take it up, Tane.
So what actually, is it like almost an addiction where you have to do the next one because
It's
can't.
the finish line, eh?
Yeah.
It's the finish line. There's
So
just,
that euphoria is so great that it pushes you to want to do the next one as soon as possible.
if you could bottle that up and spend your whole life in that euphoric zone, I tell you what, you would be a beast. And it's just.
So it's that feeling of
Oh, I don't even
what
know
you've
how to
achieved.
explain it. No. And there's a couple of really cool race callers around the world. One of them is Pete Murray. He jumps on occasion.
Yeah.
And he calls me across the finish line. And that's, to me, there is no
Best
greater. Best ever.
And that's
Best
just
ever.
what drives you to keep going. That's your reward.
It's the finish
Is that
line.
you're finished.
Absolutely. And
So
it's
do you
just
feel
that
the same
achievement.
way when you achieve something in your business? Because we
Yeah.
just had this discussion
Shit, yeah.
before
Mhm.
about
All
the
the
talk
time.
you gave
Yeah.
and the feeling that gave
Oh,
you.
yeah. So I was telling Ros that I remember there's no finish line that would make me ever want to do this.
Lorraine, I'm with you.
Oh, you'd be
But there's
surprised.
other things in your life, and it's all
Yeah.
about relating it to what you want.
What is it that you want to do?
No,
Some
I
people
know.
like marathon running.
Yeah, but
some
there's
people
people who can go out and do things.
Well, you
that,
do weights.
Yeah,
like
people
body
say that
keeps
to
showing
me.
up at the
Like,
gym.
yeah, and I was not a gym person.
Mm.
And it was focusing on what I needed to achieve and what I needed to do to get there. I guess was the big thing. And and God, people do stuff all the time that is weird. Like V8 supercars we've talked about before.
Oh, crazy.
Where someone will sit there for 8 hours watching a race, and other people just go, "What the hell is the attraction to this?" So everyone's got their own likes, and they go out and do
Do
things.
their own stuff.
I got a friend, Liana, who's a really great friend of mine who shows miniature horses. Like, that's her passion and love, and she gets the thrill out of her horse winning an award. And, there's a lot of money and work in that and traveling. And,
sure.
There's a lot of people who do that kind of thing.
We've all got our own thing, right?
And it's all about the finish line, I guess, and achieving better next time.
That's
And,
right.
yes, we all have that thing.
And I think we prove to ourselves each time that we've sort of got what it takes still. It's I don't know. There's a lot of females doing it too.
So, cast your mind back.
Cast my mind back
Okay,
too.
you ready?
Yeah, go.
What is the worst you've ever felt? What's race was like you actually nearly could have given them up? Like, what was the worst you've ever felt finishing?
I think Cebu was pretty close.
Oh, really? The one you just got back from?
About 5 days ago.
Yeah, but you were sick
It
too.
was,
So
Brent, Julie Meinbergs, how are you, good team? I'm telling you, it was like doing a triathlon on the sun, girl. Look at that.
and it was hot. You said it was. You are burnt
It was-
to buggery.
oh,
You're peeling and
It was freaking hot, man.
Wow.
And I had to walk.
Did you wear a hat?
Of course.
You bought it's not
I know.
red.
But I got sunburnt through my trisuit.
Did you?
Through my trisuit.
So what's the temperature over there when you're running?
1,000.
1,000 when you're running,
It was 39.
and you're running in that. Shit.
And riding in it.
Shit.
In the middle of the day, I was running at 12 o'clock, sun right above us. 39 degrees.
Have you ever done one done a try
Not like
in
that,
that
baby.
temperature?
Not
Never.
like that.
Wow.
That was dead set.
So you
The
nearly
sun.
gave up. We're not podcasting this, by the way.
Oh, we're not podcasting
No.
either.
No.
Dane Linforth, how are you, bro?
What's happening, Victor?
He's
Mate,
answering the phone
you're
in
just
the
on
middle of our live video.
You're just on a live.
Okay, call me back.
No. Very quick one for you.
Yeah.
Why do you do endurance sports, man? So we're talking about endurance sports. You've been a gun mountain bike rider. What's the secret? What do you, just for everyone out there in Facebook Live land, what's the secret?
To why you do endurance sports?
Yeah.
It's a test of will, test of spirit. There's nothing more satisfying than finishing something that you thought you might not be able to.
That is
There
exactly
you
what
go.
you said. Yeah, that's great.
Well said, bro. Well
It's
said.
all about the finish line.
And when you start,
It's
you
the
actually
feeling
don't
of
know.
accomplishment, I guess.
You
It
actually,
is, yeah. And an endurance event, typically 4 or 6 hours into something, you wonder why you're doing a sport. Then if you get on the podium at the end, you're lining up for the next one. It's quite an unusual experience.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah,
Well
that's
said,
true.
bro.
Yeah, that is.
because
that's
at the
crazy.
start of a 4 or 6 hour event, Dane, hey, you actually don't know what's going to happen because 4 hours or 6 hours is a long, long time.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, well, in your case, Anton, you got a lovely racing stripe from what I saw on Facebook over the weekend.
I did, mate. I do. I was just showing Ross.
I just said lucky he wore a hat because his bald head's not burnt.
I know. Thanks, champion. I'll give you a call back soon.
All right, I'll get you back. Let you get back to your viewers. See ya.
Thanks, bro. See you,
Bye.
mate. Isn't
So
that
that's
right?
good. That's a really good way of putting it. So
Absolutely.
thanks for Dane's feedback. Must have
Absolutely.
we should have people ringing like on the radio.
We should
With it.
call in.
We could say
Yeah,
call in.
Actually, we should do that.
Yeah, we
Give us
should.
give us a
Call
call.
in,
Give us a
yes,
call.
call.
If you haven't got my number, I'm going to put my number there.
So I've got another question for you
go.
on my list. Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you say to people when they tell you that you can't do it or you won't do well?
Up your bum, and that's part of the motivation. That's part of the motivation.
So have people made fun of you about
Absolutely.
it, apart from me?
No, all the time. Yes, all
Yeah.
the time.
And they go, you're crazy.
Especially
What the
at the
hell is
moment.
the attraction to
Especially
this?
at the moment when I'm fat.
Do you ever
the
feel
bloke
like,
said to
oh
me
my
the
God?
other day, God love him, and he doesn't know this, but he said, "Good on you for putting yourself out there." I couldn't believe those words. And he's a regular watcher, and he'll be highly offended that I actually took this the wrong way. But I don't put myself out there when I'm doing the sport. Like it's a passion. I don't go, like I know I do put myself out there, and that's what he sees. But if I say I'm going to try and qualify for next year's World Champs, that's what I'm committed to doing. And I might be fat at the moment, so no one believes I can do it at the moment.
Mm.
But in next
But you
November,
believe you can do it, and that's the
absolutely.
most important thing.
So now we've got a coach. And the same guy said to me a long time ago, get a coach.
Yeah.
So it's not about
So why is a coach important if we're relating it to business and life?
accountability.
And that's why I've got a personal trainer, and I
That's
don't
right.
just depend on myself to go to the gym, because I would never go to the gym if I.
No.
So that's why personal trainer for me, it's more expensive, but I'd probably get more money's worth out of it, because if I just paid for a gym membership, I'd never go.
There you go. And I've just signed
And it
Jules
is
up.
an
for this coach.
accountability thing.
I've just signed Jules up.
That's
$250 a month, no problem.
That's great, and it's money well spent. I think it's just
So I
to
can't
be
do
able
it on my own.
to.
I
And
cannot do it on my own.
she'll be by your side the whole time. I'm
And
sure.
she comes anyway.
Yeah.
Might as well pack a bike
Yeah.
and do a bit of racing while she's there. God,
She's
love her.
such a great cheerleader for you, though.
is. Oh,
You
she
two are
is
amazing.
so
When I
good.
see your Facebook
I thought
stuff,
about
I'm just.
her so much last weekend. Julie 94. Where's that? I can't even see that tattoo there.
Yeah.
Julie 94. I thought about her so much because I had a lot of thinking time. I was only supposed to spend like an hour and 40 or 50 minutes out there, and I spent 2 hours 40 out there. That's a long.
How lovely that
long
you're
time.
thinking of your wife, though, and
I
that's
couldn't wait
helped
to
get
get
you
there.
through to the finish line.
Lisa Smith, her hubby and son, her son Jacko is the guy. And Jacko, one day I'm going to see if I can beat Jacko one day. Even though he's 25 years younger. But
My daughter ringing.
I'll get her a call. We'll talk to her about life.
Hang on.
Is she ringing in?
Hey, darling, I'm just doing my live. How are you?
So now back to
I'm
Roz's
just doing my
original
live
question.
video with Anton.
Roz's original question was, what's the toughest race
Yeah.
I've ever done? So in
okay?
2014, September
Can I ring you back in a
2014,
minute?
I
All right.
travelled
I'll
to
call you back shortly.
Canada early in the
I
month
love you.
to represent our fine
Bye.
country. I travelled to Canada September 2014 early in the month to represent Australia at the World 70.3 Half Ironman Champs. Flew home, picked up the wife and kids, hey bro, flew back to China to represent Australia in the long distance. So it was only 2 weeks, and that's not enough recovery time. So when I got to China, and China was hot too, and it was really hilly,
Yeah.
and it was 120k, and I'd only really trained for 90 on the bike.
Wow.
And
That makes a huge difference.
I'd pulled out mentally. I rolled back into transition and said, I'm finishing the race, I'm out. And there's a Gladstone guy there, actually, Ryan. He said, mate, are you serious? He said, you've come halfway across the world and you're going to pull out of this race. He said, you're fucking nuts, excuse the language. He said, go and get your shoes on, man. Like, they're literally
Wow.
about 50 metres. He said, get your shoes on, just walk it. It's only 20k. Like, in triathlon speak, 20k is not that far.
So you did it.
Yeah, I did in the end.
So how did it make you feel to have a cheerleader who kicked your butt, and
Absolutely.
So see, it's all about-
so grateful.
having those people in to keep you accountable?
Oh, you need accountability.
Yeah.
So I'd mentally resigned from that race. It's the only time I've probably ever mentally resigned and just said I'm going to pull out, not go out on the run. I've never done that before. Like in
And put on him for saying something,
Absolutely.
because
Gave me a hard
I
time.
mean, for him, it made sense for him to say you've come up, like to actually point out how far you've come.
Absolutely.
Literally and figuratively,
That's right.
to actually
Not
have
finished.
somebody in your life, and we all have people like that in our lives,
Yeah.
for our everyday lives, but our businesses as well. So,
Yeah.
for him to actually open up and say to you,
And to be so
give you a
blunt.
kick up the butt.
Yeah. So
Well, that's why with the personal trainer, when I took Ange on, and I said to her, I need to be in peak peak fitness for this skin removal surgery.
She said,
And I said, if I start not turning up, I want you to kick my butt. I want you to hold me accountable. And
she did?
I didn't never turn up unless I was away or something. There was never a time where I just went, screw it, I'm not going. I actually felt like that a lot. I felt so many times like, screw this, what the hell am I doing? This is going to hurt. Especially when I'd had a big week. And those couple of months leading up to my surgery, she started really pushing me. Like we lifted the weight, we actually increased my weights and we changed exercises and we did a lot of new stuff.
Wow.
And that's when it was just really hard. But I also felt like you, when it was done, at the end of every session, I'm like, God, I'm so glad I came. I felt such a feeling of accomplishment. And, when your weights have gone up from what you used to lift and you're lifting another 10 kilos more than what you lifted before, it is a real feeling of accomplishment. And when you actually start to see the physical changes,
nothing like it.
No, and the fact that that after the skin was removed, I can actually now see what I worked hard to achieve, the tone and everything.
Probably some abs too.
Yeah, definitely. On my abs are like it's like this table, you could bounce a coin off it, and I know that was from all those frigging crunches and bloody whatever else we did, the squats and yeah.
And I love this. Passion's hard to explain. You're right, Lorraine. It's just...
That's very true, Lorraine.
Until you've experienced it, we all know what we're passionate about. We've all got a passion in life for something. But can I tell you something? So this is a really important one to me here. Like, how do I go that
Move
way?
over.
So 723 is the number under there. Like when I started triathlon, I did that first short one. Physical and mental changes, absolutely.
Yeah, lots, Lorraine.
When I did that first one, I drove home and with Andrew, I said, "When's the next? Where do we go? The next one? When's another?
Wow.
We're doing this again straight away. Where?
Loved it.
The next one was Mooloolaba, which was double the size. Oh, well, actually, probably triple the size. It was what we call Olympic distance: 1.5k swim, 40k ride, and a 10k run. So. It's the sort of one you can't turn up without done some work.
Preparation, yeah.
And when I first did that first one, I said, I'm going to do 10 of these straight.
So you were that hooked?
I was instantaneous.
So was it that feeling of finishing?
Absolutely.
That's what
just to finish
drew you back straight away.
I said, I'm 10 straight. I said, what happens when you get...
So you get off on the feeling of accomplishment with pretty much everything.
Like what Dane did. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just an accomplisher. Yeah. And Dane,
that drives you though.
Like Dane's, because every time you never know what's going to happen in a race. You don't even know if you're going to finish. You might die. There's people that die. There was a dude that...
That's awful.
I was in Cebu. And I'm standing next to a bloke in the line. And he said, I was here a couple of years ago. And he said, I was swimming along and I kept touching this dude beside me.
Yeah.
But he wasn't swimming. He was face
Oh,
down.
no.
He had died.
So he drowned?
Yeah.
Did anyone do anything?
No. Everyone just swim over the top of him.
Oh,
it's a tough sport, man. And he apparently he'd had a heart attack or something, but he died out swimming.
That would be a huge risk, though.
Sykesy, a mate of ours in person here.
Huge.
Oh, it is. I've had heart palpitations because of it. But
like if you're not fit and you do have like underlying health issues, there's a high risk of something like that happening.
Thank you so much, girl. Yeah.
I can't stand the thought of someone just being left floating out in the ocean.
Don't start.
That's crazy.
Dottie, don't start this sport unless you're going to get your heart checked. That's seriously number one. Sykesy, a bloke in town, has nursed a bloke to death on a tri course. Yeah, that's nurser. Yeah. You still got to go and get up and finish that.
Keep the clock running.
And so...
Have you ever had to help someone that was just struggling? You know, in the Olympics where they do that, come on and run beside someone?
Not that obvious, just talk them up.
Yeah.
And they've talked me up. Yeah. You know, you run beside someone and it even
so it's like-minded people supporting one another to accomplish something.
Everyone gets it, girl.
Which is the same as like the, people in business and people around town networking.
Leaders,
sort of networks.
Having leaders around you that support you. You know, we do leadership.
And very much relate that to life as far as...
And I always say to people, if you ever see a resume come across your desk and it says on there, interests triathlon, hire the bejesus out of that person. Because that
makes sense.
There's one thing you know about them and they're going to finish shit off. They're finishers because they will not stop. Seriously, they will
Everyone
not
I know
stop
that
it.
does triathlons, I have to agree. They will do whatever it takes. You know, they'll
Whatever it
get
takes.
skeletal and
That's right.
like they're so strict with their diet leading up and their training, and they get up at some
4
stupid
o'clock in
hour
the
of the morning and do it for weeks and
It's a
weeks
crazy
and weeks.
sport, man.
And
I know.
yeah, it's just unbelievable.
So anyway, last year I clocked over 10 years Malulva.
Oh, really?
I know, 10 years.
So that was what the
So you get this special number.
yeah.
You get what you call a Legends number.
Yeah,
723.
I love that. It's very nice.
Isn't
With
it
the
nice?
colours. Yeah.
And so then, because Noosa's the same year, so in March there's Malulva and in November there's Noosa. So, there's another one of these things down there. I better do that too. So I did 10 of them straight as well.
Wow.
So this year's 11 straight of each of those. And what about marathons? Never done a full one, would you believe, Luan? Never done a full one.
Good question.
Only as part of Ironmans.
So quickly for the general public, difference between tri and marathon.
Oh, great work. Great question. So, a marathon. So triathletes say, oh, you've done a marathon. Oh, that's very cute. When are you going to do the full race? So, and this is said with love, Lorraine.
So is marathon like a tri's little sister?
Well, it's just different. It's still hard. Like it's 42.2k run.
So you're just running.
Just running.
Yeah.
Whereas a tri swim bike run. So in an Ironman, you do that marathon at the end of the 180k bike and the 3.8k swim. So just a different race.
So is it because you like the combination of the three and you don't want to just run for that long?
Yeah, pretty much.
So you wouldn't get the same thrill out of it, you don't think?
I don't reckon. I reckon it's more of a challenge doing all three.
Yeah.
But
because you're using different muscles and body parts and everything, so it's pretty.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I can't swim, so it's sort of a real challenge for me personally, mentally, to get in the water. And I get up the front every time, and I get swum over. I get swum over by Sprint Olympic, and
What's the difference?
half Ironman.
What's that then?
So sprint. So let me give you the distance. The sprint is 750 swim, 20k bike, and a 5k run.
So is that like your first one you did?
That was the first
Okay,
one.
yeah.
Double that to Olympic.
Yeah.
Double that and a bit to half Ironman.
Okay.
And then double that again to half Ironman. So Ironman is.
So the people who win those Ironman things, they're pretty damn fit then. Like that's crazy.
That's crazy fit. Like the level of fitness that it's just hard to fathom.
So the one you just did in the Philippines would have been an Olympic.
Double Olympic.
Double Olympic.
Half
okay.
Ironman.
Half Ironman.
So
okay.
we did a 1.9k swim, 90k bike ride, and a 21.1k run, which is a half marathon. So they call it a half Ironman.
Oh wow.
What was I going to tell you?
That's great. Thanks for bringing those questions up, Luann, because I've learnt something today about tries.
Yeah, marathons are good.
While you're thinking about it, I'm just checking because we're nearly up to our hour, so I want to just check if I have any other questions.
Okay.
So how can you best relate planning, preparing, practicing, and performing a try to the things you achieve that you want to achieve in everyday life? What's your overall analogy between,
So life, seriously, triathlon is so much like life. You got to put your toe in the water. You got to start, and sometimes the water's cold, sometimes it's deep, sometimes it's murky.
Sharks?
Absolutely. There's sharks around, there's stingers.
People got out,
absolutely. People got out of Cebu and said, what was all that shit biting me? I said, I didn't feel it. Then they said, they're water lice or something. Midlife crisis, yes, Luan.
Yep. So start. You're saying start. Give it a go. Dip your toe. Just get started.
Dip your toe in the water.
Yep.
And guess what? You might drown. You could get hurt. You're going to get swum over.
So don't let fear stop you.
Don't let fear stop you. So people go to triathlon thinking that it's going to be like a pool swim.
Yeah.
They think they're just going to go out there and have a little swim around.
But you they have the waves and it's swell. It's not just a smooth.
No, life is like a triathlon.
It is. That's why I wanted to have this conversation because I can really relate. Like after talking to you about it, I wanted to find out how we can make the comparison. So, all right. So you've got to get started. Just get started. Don't be scared.
And expect it to be a contact sport. And when I say expect it to be a contact sport, I mean expect it to be a contact sport. We're talking elbows. We're talking knees. We're talking,
So people,
you get kicked in the head. You get people get out with blood.
For a place.
I had to swim over because they started me at the back of the pack, and I'm slow swimmer, but I'm not as slow as the Asians. They're slow swimmers, right? So I really had to literally claw my way through 1,000 people to get over people, pull them back physically,
Wow.
push them out of the way.
Oh, really?
It's a
Wow.
girl,
So it's
especially
like, it is like life.
like little girls like you
Yeah.
get in there and think they're just going to have a little swim around. Then they get 45-year-old males who are pretty committed.
Yeah, and they're actually like stroking
And they get
and
hurt.
pushing people out the way.
And they get in, and then they get out of the water crying and say,
Wow.
"That's my strong leg bike, girl. Catch him on the bike. Catch him on the bike."
So, all right. So we get started.
Are you
Just
a
do it.
triathlete,
Don't
by
be
the way?
don't be
Don't be
afraid.
scared.
Just get started. The second
right.
thing is don't expect to be hurt. Expect pain. Expect it
To be knocked around and
not be
swim.
easy.
That's right.
Expect it to not be easy. Expect
That's
there to be people in your life who
That
are going to
will
try
hurt
to
you.
bring you down and hurt you.
Absolutely.
Expect that.
Expect it.
Okay.
Then get out of the water
Yeah.
and know that the hard part is about to start.
So that would be change because you
Change.
change from the swim to the bike and the run.
That's it.
What do you do first?
Swim.
So you swim.
Then you go into what we call transition,
Yep.
where you put your bike shoes and your helmet on.
Yeah.
Then you grab your bike.
And the clock's still going.
Oh yeah.
And then you run.
Then you go.
All right. So we can relate that obviously. In
Absolutely.
life, there's going to be change, and be prepared for the change because you would have body parts that all of a sudden start hurting. That
Yeah, you're cramping the
yeah,
swim.
yeah.
All of a sudden you're cramping and you can't get out of the water, or Steve Williamson, mate. And then, see, the bike's the longest leg of the tri. No matter what distance, it's always the longest leg. So it's the hardest. You got to be most committed. You got to be constant. And
1,000 bikes on the road,
Oh, safe.
there'd be scuffling as well.
watch where you're going.
Yeah.
Find your path. Make sure and don't break the rules. Don't break the road
Oh yeah,
rules.
that's a good one for life.
Yeah, break.
So
stay
expect change.
Stay in your lane.
Be
Stay-
prepared for change. Stay in your lane.
But guess what? You've got to overtake some people as well.
So you do have
You gotta
to, yeah.
overtake
So
people.
there'll be people in your life that you lose, and
Absolutely.
yeah.
And go past.
there'll be people who try to hold you back.
Absolutely. They'll be blocking.
Yeah.
And there's rules about blocking. And
Okay.
you might even get a mechanical. So you might get a flat tyre.
Yeah, be prepared for
And that-
equipment failure.
And that really pisses you off.
And that's like when you all of a sudden you're ticking along nicely, running your business, and
And you
then
feel bad
you have a back issue or a heart attack, or a relative passes away, or there's going to be roadblocks, and equipment failure, and flat tires.
That's right. And then what happens is on the bike, because it's the longest leg, and you feel good at the start, you push it too hard. So 99% of age group triathletes push too hard on the bike. So you go so
Because
hard.
then you can't run properly.
Then you shag for the run.
So pace yourself.
Gotta
That's a good
pace
one.
Pace yourself. Actually, we
Incidentally,
should
what
do
you
the PDF version of this.
Oh, we should.
We should.
Incidentally, what do you do when you're riding the bike and you do get a flat tire? Do you have a
Change it.
repair kit?
Yeah, on your bike.
Oh, so you get out and fix the puncture.
Or you get someone else to do it for you.
Wow. Are the
'Cause there
roads
are-
rough over there?
Oh, terrible dirt,
Wow.
some of them.
Oh, really?
It's terrible roads.
Because that'd be slippery too. Hey,
Oh,
Murray.
yeah.
Oofty.
Hey, Murray's on the public speaking workshop.
Oh, that's right. He is too.
So
Look
it's
forward
free.
to it, Murray.
Absolutely. We've just started the advertising today, actually, with Kerry Fitzgibbon.
Awesome. Okay, so be prepared for
So be
equipment
prepared.
failure and life to throw you some curveballs.
And don't push too hard on the bike because it's going to be a long way. Like in an Ironman, it's
Don't peak
100.
too early.
And don't peak too early. Like in the bedroom. And then get off your bike and make sure you don't take your helmet off before you rack your bike. So that's disqualification.
Oh, is it?
You rack your safety first. You rack your
Oh,
bike.
that's a simple thing.
Oh, and don't take your bike before you put your helmet on.
So simple.
Disqualification.
We could say simple mistakes can
mistake.
cost you a lot. How's that?
DQ. Imagine going to the Philippines and get disqualified because you put your helmet on, or too late, or got your bike first.
So don't act too quickly because a
Don't
simple
break the
mistake
rules. Don't break
can
the
be
rules.
very costly.
Guess what? Afternoon team, great to see you again. Thanks,
you too, Murray.
There were people in the Philippines who swam in what we call calf warmers, so and it's against the rules. They would have got DQ'd.
Oh, really? So you go all the way over there and do
They would have done
something
their
like
whole
that.
race not even knowing because they haven't read the rule book.
Ooh.
And
So read the rules. That's
read
a
the
good
rules.
one.
Someone would have seen their number and said you
Awful.
got calf
Leg
warmers.
warmers.
Leg warmers. And it shits me because you need them.
Oh my God! Wow.
But-
Would that be like a safety thing, nearly?
Oh, the thing about it is they say it gives you buoyancy in the water.
Oh, really? I thought it would hold you back.
Oh, well, I don't think it
Hold,
does either.
so it holds you up.
It just
like
holds
a
your,
life jacket.
No, it doesn't. That's the thing. It just holds your calves together. And helps your calves so you don't cramp as much.
So when you're getting towards the finish line and you can see your achievement coming, the run. Before you get to the finish line, you've got to get through the run. So how do you keep the mental endurance going in life?
Yeah.
When you have that last really hard bit.
Strong self-talk, good songs to
Sing.
sing to yourself, gratitude, grateful,
Yep.
and think of what's coming. Think of how much fun you're going to have at the finish line. Because seriously, the finish line at an Ironman and a half is like 200 metres long or 100 metres
really?
long. And there's people everywhere.
Wow.
And it feels like they're all there just for you.
And is there someone there on a mic screaming your name out? And that's so fantastic.
Know the rules, brother. Know the rules.
Yes, they are just like life. We're relating the tries to life.
And in Ironman, his name's Mike Riley. He's now in the Ironman Hall of Fame. He's been calling Ironman since 1989. He called the great race, which we now call the Iron War. It's when Dave Scott and Mark Allen in 1989.
Yeah.
Get the book. Great stuff.
Cool.
And the dude that does the 70.3s is Pete Murray.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, so you've crossed the finish line.
Now we celebrate.
What's the feeling? So celebrate your accomplishments.
Euphoria.
Celebrate your accomplishments.
And I don't leave
life.
I don't leave recovery for half an hour.
In life.
Celebrate. I just sit there and just they keep
soak it up.
And they say, "Can you move into no?"
So that's actually good because it's not just about celebrating the accomplishments. It's about making sure you cherish it, and don't rush the celebration.
That's
so take it in, look at your achievements, look back at how far you've come. You've pushed through the pain. Can really relate to that in life.
Oh, for sure.
Really relate to that.
Celebrate your success, Georgia Louise, little Sharon Johnson's daughter.
Oh yeah. Hey, she's beautiful. I think I met her up here with Sharon.
Oh, she's good.
So then don't celebrate for too long.
Start consuming copious amounts of alcohol.
Give yourself time to celebrate with a drink. And what about then mentally preparing for the next one? The next thing.
That's all you think about. As soon as you cross the finish line, it's like, right.
But then you got hit with bruised bones. So, you're obviously going to have challenges get thrown at you.
You are.
After you celebrated, and you're looking
manage.
forward to the next one,
Then
and then you go, you can't ride your bike anymore. You got to go to the gym and do cardio.
I couldn't even run. I couldn't run or ride. Leading up to this try, I could not ride or run, and so that's why I had a shit race.
Plus, you had your accident, so that pulled you up. When you had your work accident, that's right, because you were running before that, weren't you?
Yeah,
you were doing it back with your long hair.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Your surfy look
with the mullet. Gotta love it.
So things in life are going to, throw you, and you still got to.
You got to just change it.
Push through it, and
what they say is, don't change your goal, change your strategy.
That's a good one. I like that.
So my goals never change. I'm going to Taupo next November to race the 70.3 World Champs. Well, guaranteed.
And you got to qualify for that, don't you? That's what you were trying to qualify for. So have you got to go again now?
I have to go to China or something.
So
race again on the sun.
So have you learned something from obviously Philippines?
Yes.
Don't eat the food.
And don't pick I picked the wrong race to go to because it was so slow. I thought even without prep, I'll just go over there and do it easy.
Yeah, I thought you were a bit complacent with the prep for this one because you're normally a lot more focused on. And I thought, this must be an easy race or something.
Well, I thought it was going to be. I talked myself.
Don't need to. What do you have over there? The buns, steamed pork buns.
Don't eat pork buns in Philippines. I thought it was going to be an easy race, and now that I look back on it, I can't swim, and it was a non-wetsuit swim.
So you had to swim like in just
a tricep, yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
So when a wetsuit gives you heaps of buoyancy, so I should at least pick a wetsuit swim because that suits my racing.
Yep.
I had no heat prep before the race because it had been our winter.
So that's a good lesson in life: is choose your battles wisely.
Choose your battles.
Choose your battles wisely. There's bugs around. Yes. And your chairs.
And buy the right chairs. God, love the chairs up here. We've persevered through these chairs for 12 months.
We have.
Well, girl, that was just so good. Thanks so much.
Thank you. I
let me
really
talk
wanted
about
to
triathlon.
relate, because I know how much prep you do, and we talk about it in the background and all the rest of it. And I think, we can really relate a lot of that to life and business and leadership, which we've talked a lot about. And no, thank you for sharing all of that with us. And it was done in a very educating and eloquent way. So yes, thank you very much. We didn't podcast it. But
I wish we did. I'm spewing.
That's right. You might be able to.
I might have to just play the video and put this next to it. And see if it can pick it up.
Everyone have an awesome week, though.
Can we pass the hat around for chair
Yeah, we
stoppers?
might be able to.
No, I'm going to donate. I'm going to, what is it, Len? Sponsor.
Oh, you're going to sponsor it with green
TTG sponsorship.
Chair leg covers. And just very quickly, I really, really want to just thank, again, everybody who has sent messages, phone calls, stopped me in the street. Honestly, it's actually very humbling for people to be saying how brave I am to share my story, how inspiring I am. I've had people ring whose family members have had, gastric sleeve or whatever, and they are grateful that I've been so public. And I just want to reiterate, I've never done it for any, self-gratitude. I do it because I know how many people I've helped, and it's really confronting for me to have shared my photos and been so open about it. But I genuinely know the amount of people that have thanked me for being so open and honest about it. And, we talked about passion, and that's my passion. I want to make people aware of the struggle that people with obesity have. It's not an easy run to get to 47 before you make a decision to have weight loss surgery, and then for people to see the aftermath of what losing 87 kilos does to your body, or any amount of weight. And I just want to thank everybody who has, and I have honestly, I've literally hundreds of calls and messages, and, went to the markets the other day and I'm running into people that are stopping me in the street and thanking me. And it's also helped people open up and have conversations with their families. They, they want to look at getting weight loss surgery, and, because their families know me or whatever. Because there's I think I've had like 4 just this week. I had 4 people come and visit me at home because I've been working from home because I've been sick, who have either lost all the weight with gastric sleeve and they're going for the skin removal. They wanted more information, or they have asked questions about going and having the gastric sleeve surgery done. People aren't accepting of it in a lot of cases because people aren't educated, and I want to educate people on it not being the easy way out, that it's okay to talk about it, it's okay to ask questions. And honestly, the reason a lot of people aren't public and open about their journey is because they feel like people are judging them. They really feel like people are judging it, and that's what I hear constantly is, I don't want to tell anyone I've had it because I'm scared they'll think I've taken the easy way out or I've cheated. And I can honestly, hand on heart, tell you it's not the easy way out. You're still responsible for watching what you eat and all of those things. So, but I just wanted to, once again say that I am so grateful for everyone that has checked on me and asked how I've gone, and made me feel really loved. Well, it makes me feel like I've made the right decision going public with my story and my photos, because it is extremely confronting to do that. But I just know that I've had so many people, who've thanked me for being so open and public about it. And it's not an easy thing to do, but that is my life. It's real. I wasn't going to bullshit. That's my journey, and that's my story. And I'm doing it for the little girls who get picked last in the phys ed class. The little girl who, couldn't go to the school dance because she couldn't find anything to wear, because, those things that are in my mind that I know people struggle with. And, the teenage girl, the boys judged because of how they looked. And, the 20-year-old that used to try and go walking in the afternoons, and I had a guy wind his window down and spit at me and say, as if that's going to help fatty. And, they're the people that I'm getting the message out to, that you can literally try and kill yourself, diet and exercising. And, this is the journey that I've taken to find a surgical solution to my weight loss. But, people need to understand how they make someone feel if they judge them. And I've never had a sedentary lifestyle. I was never sitting on the couch drinking 4 litres of Coke and eating pizza. I was always active, even as a child, but I battled with my weight my whole life. This is just the first stage of the last part of my journey with this first skin removal surgery. But I just want everyone to know how grateful I am for all the positive messages and and thank you to you as well for all the interviewing and
Absolutely.
so
Everyone on the journey.
have a great week, everyone,
Good on
and a
you,
great
Tim.
weekend. Stay safe, and we'll
Very
see you
good.
next week. Take
Very
care.
good.
Bye.
Yeah, good, eh?